station, and you know what it was.
Now it is. Hope this works.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Ethics and Law.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Okay. Do you want me to do the announcements real quick?
Sure.
Or you wanna know? Okay. All right. Welcome back, Cyberforce and Seahawk Finals, folks. You fought the good fight at your events. We got second in the embedded competition at Seesaw, which was awesome. Woohoo. And have fun at ACM Bar Call if you're going. And we'll try to keep this short just for y'all, or as short as you want it to be, because this one is a little more like, we try to keep it open discussion if we can. And whatnot. Okay, yeah. So this is the flag for today's meeting. I should get a view of the camera. This is the flag for today's meeting. This is a healthy reminder. A lot of the stuff we're talking about today is law stuff, is ethics stuff. If you have legitimate questions about like cyber law and cyber policy, I highly recommend talking to a professional if those that would have like real world consequences for you. We're not that person. We can give you general advice, just like based on our understanding of the law, but before you do something where you're like, this is in an area where I'm not positive, please actually get legal advice. Okay.
Sick. Okay. Hello. Whoa. Okay. Let's see if this actually clicks. Hey. Okay. So ethics. It's an important topic, especially as people who are in this hacking club, especially as people who want to work as software engineers or cybersecurity experts in the future. So as I guess the upcoming generation that is controlling, I guess, the tools we are using in this online world. Technology, like especially computers, it stores our personal data, it stores our sensitive information like passwords, credit card numbers, identifiable information. It's incredibly important that we process not only our data, but also we design our systems in a way that is responsible for everything and all our possible users. And especially as members of a hacking club, we give you guys a lot of power and we hold you guys to a lot of responsibility with the skills we teach. We teach you guys how to break things. We teach you guys how to break into systems, how to break websites, how to break different secure servers. Don't do this in the real world unless you have explicit permission to do so, because the consequences of you breaking into someone else's system or breaking into a company's like database is very dire. You could get arrested for that. And just like you wouldn't break someone's physical in real life property, you don't want to break people's like online systems either. And some of you may be thinking like, hey, in the future, I'm just going to be working as a single person in a big company. I don't actually have a lot of influence by myself.
It does that.
Okay, not my problem. But if you think about the number of people that design these online tools compared to, I guess, the quantity of people that the tools you design can affect, it's a very big ratio. So even if you as one person are making a decision to like change one part of like a recommendation algorithm of like a secure service, the consequences of your actions can reach a much wider audience than you initially anticipate. So basically, ethics are an important topic for everyone, no matter what field of technology or no matter what scope of company you work in. So before we actually discuss how this applies to our cybersecurity, I guess, perspective, I do want to first talk about the moral frameworks. And these are different ways we can sort of view ethical challenges or view ethical problems. So who here has heard of the trolley problem before? Okay, that's pretty much everyone, but it's basically you are in control of a trolley whose brakes are stopped or whose brakes aren't working, and in front of you there lies five people on one track and one person on the other track. So you can either pull the lever to divert the trolley onto the top track to kill the one person, or you can let it be and have it run over 5 people. So basically, the ethics of this, you can either consciously make a choice to kill that one person, or you can let the universe play out, but by your inaction, killing 5 people. So we'll be discussing 2 main frameworks of how we can make decisions based on this, because at its core, this is an ethical dilemma. It doesn't have an objectively correct solution to it. And the first perspective we're going to be discussing is utilitarianism, which is very consequence-based. So a utilitarian would believe in whatever causes the most social good, whatever action they do should have the most social benefit. And the outcome is essentially all that matters in decision making. So it doesn't matter how I get to this outcome of social good, it just matters that in the end, I've done more good than not with my decisions. So can anyone discuss, or can anyone tell me what they think a utilitarian would navigate the trolley problem? Yep.
Maybe the 5 people would generate more wealth and like create more value for societies than one person, like by salary or by just like their lifestyle. So you would want to save 5 people instead of one.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter that you as a utilitarian are actively pulling the lever to kill one person by your own choice. The social benefit generated by that one person is going to be comparatively less than social benefit generated by saving 5 people. And so in the end, all you care about is the outcome. So a utilitarian would pull the lever to kill that one person. So utilitarianism is very consequence-based, it's very outcome-based. So on the other hand, we have deontology. Deontology, so it's very process-based in a way, it's very duty-based. So deontology believes in 3 main, I guess, guidelines to decision-making. So the first is that all moral agents, which in this scenario is all humans, have the duty to uphold a universal set of rules to each other. So everyone has the inherent responsibility to be ethical and respectful and responsible for each other. So second is intent is what really matters. So it's very much process driven, not very outcome driven. So it doesn't matter that I may have caused a negative outcome as long as I did that with a good intent, as long as I believe that what I was doing was gonna be the good thing. That's what really matters. And the third is that moral agents should not use any other moral agents as a means to an end. So once again, it's very process-based, it's not very outcome-based. So can anyone, or who thinks they knows what deontologists would do in this situation? Anyone? My first presentation, that'll make it more difficult. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, that would very much be like, good people do not kill other people, or so they say, do nothing.
Yeah, so that is definitely one of the, yep.
Also, but if one person was gay, Kant would probably say kill them because he's an massive homophobe.
Let's not get to this.
Some of his writing, it's for
From what the point I was trying to bring up with this extended bit of discussion was that it doesn't, there's no
Hypocrisy is outside of this contract.
so basically, because we're relying on intent, it's such a subjective term. How do you define intent? How does my intent from my worldview differ from your intent? So intent is something that's really subjective, and because of that, there's not really one single answer as to what a deontologist would do in this situation. Because you could argue that, hey, a deontologist believes that they shouldn't be the one to actively cause the end of one person's life, even if it results in 5. They intend to do the good thing. That's what really matters. But another deontologist might believe that, hey, I intend to do social good, therefore I need to pull the lever. It's very process-based. It's the outcome of how many people end up dying in this hypothetical scenario. It doesn't matter. What really matters is what do you believe is the best course of action. So you may be thinking, why are we discussing the trolley problem? How does this impossible, hopefully impossible situation apply to what we do as cybersecurity experts, as engineers? So, autonomous vehicles. In a scenario in which the vehicle's brakes are broken and there's no way to avoid crashing into something or someone, how do we make decisions to, I guess, determine, how do we make decisions to determine what we do in this scenario in which all outcomes are equally bad? Well, that's where, I guess, ethical frameworks, that's where moral decision making could be like an outline or can be a sort of way to process the different decisions we can make. And so in the real world, maybe hopefully not as severe as either this scenario or the trolley problem, everyone will be faced with moral and ethical dilemmas. So it's up to your decision making, it's up to ethics to determine what course of action you take to, I guess, enact the actions that you believe are best. So in the context of cybersecurity, and now actually getting onto relevant SIGPwny content. So there are three hats, very arbitrary way to describe the rules of these, but there are three, I guess, groups of ethical decision making when it comes to hackers. You have white hat, black hat, and gray hat hackers. So white hat is basically hacker. It's, if any of you guys played Dungeons and Dragons, it's lawful good. It's hacking for the goal of enacting social good. I am practicing cybersecurity because I believe that with cybersecurity, I can prevent incidents before they happen. And that's why I'm hacking into systems. So white hat hackers are the types of hackers that usually get hired by big companies or governments to say, hey, we give you explicit permission to try to break into our systems. But if you find anything, it's your job as a white hat hacker, as an ethical hacker, to tell us what these vulnerabilities are and to tell us how to correct them. So on the complete other side, you have chaotic evil, you have black hat hackers. So these are, I guess, the malware groups. These are the malicious hackers of the hacker world. So they use cybersecurity for malicious intent. They're breaking into systems for either personal gain or going sicko mode. But yeah, it's basically.
Is there a more modern version of
But it's hacking for breaking into things for personal gain. That's the core of it. You're doing cybersecurity not for the good of the company, not for the good of society, but because you want to profit from it. And finally, you have gray hat hackers, which are a bit harder to define because it's subjective. There's no objective definition to white hat or to gray hat hackers because they do cybersecurity maybe through malicious means, but they might do it for a good cause. Or they might, in their goal to like design a more secure system, they might do things out of the scope they're granted explicit permission for. So it's kind of a bit in the both. That's why it's gray hat instead of white. It's in the middle of white and black, essentially. So how do we define ethics for hackers? So first off, I do want to talk about mitigating risk. So risk in this scenario or in this context is going to be defined as expectation of loss expressed as probability. It's basically saying no matter what we do, we are in the real world. And if there's one thing that's predictable about the real world is that it's unpredictable. So everything you do, all the actions you can take, especially in a cybersecurity context, has risk, has a probability that you will incur some loss. And so basically we're defining risk mitigation as lowering that probability of you messing stuff up. So there's multiple definitions of, I guess, ethics for hackers. This one's by Stephen Levy. It's basically, it's very old, Wild West internet kind of definition. So first off, access to computers should be unlimited. That's after this slide, you already know this is old internet stuff. So no, access to computers should not be limited, especially with nowadays where so much of personal information, bank account details, passwords are stored on the internet. You really shouldn't be able to go into anyone else's, you really shouldn't be able to say, hey, I should have unlimited access to your computer, therefore I want to see your password. You really shouldn't, but this is one possible definition out of many. Second, all information should be free. Mistrust authority. Hackers should be judged by their skill. So yeah, you can create art and beauty on a computer, and computers can change your life for the better. This is we think back to, I guess, old internet by Sir Tim Berners-Lee's definition of the World Wide Web, which is I guess, internet of connected things, of information, freely accessible information. This specific definition of hacker ethics would align with Sir Tim Berners-Lee's definition of what he wanted the World Wide Web to be. However, in modern days, with constantly changing scenarios and use cases for the internet and for technology, this definition might not be correct. So essentially, it's up to you to responsibly define what you believe is the ethical scenario. And especially if you want to get into cybersecurity as a profession, or you want to do research or something a bit more formal, just remember that there are three, I guess, prerequisites for you to be able to hack something ethically. The first is that you must be given explicit permission by the person or I guess stakeholder you're hacking into to hack their system. So in our case, in SIGPwny's case, we give you explicit permission to break into our systems. But if you want to be ethical about it, don't go breaking into company websites, company databases without explicit permission by the company that you can do so. Second is expertise. Especially with something, if you think about like SQL injections, if you think about these really big vulnerabilities that could create a lot of damage, you need to have the expertise to be able to determine not only how to get into the system, but once you get into the system, how do you make sure you're not creating more damage by doing that than not? You need to be able to know if you fuck something up, how to unfuck it up. And finally, proper documentation, especially if you're doing research, especially if you're working for a company, talking about how you broke into their system. You want to be documenting every single path, every single step you took in order to get to that point of the company, which is a vulnerability, because they need to be able to use your documentation to recreate that exploit, and they need to use your writing to be able to fix that. And especially if you're working as a professional, not having all three could put you in massive trouble with the company. So let's say you're a person that's, again, I guess in this scenario, you're not explicitly hired by the company, but let's say you found a security exploit in a company system. How do you go about reporting? So there's three main ways you can do it. First off is not reporting it at all, which is not necessarily the most ethical option, but hey, if you found a vulnerability, you could just tell no one about it. If we're assuming you're not wanting to be an ethical member of society,
Can you
then
think of a situation where non-disclosure might be the best thing to do?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What's your?
Purple team?
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, when you think that's fundamentally not patchable.
Mhm.
Antivirus, not patchable, right? The same bypasses from 2014 work in 2024. The patch for this would be fixing all of computational complexity,
Mhm.
which is not gonna happen. So yeah, this is a case where even if you say, I found this thing, you don't wanna say that, because people don't find the thing shit. Right? I mean, just a couple weeks ago, Outflying dropped a research report that contained no code, and I saw a POC on GitHub 2 days ago that'll let you fly by pretty much every EDO. So that's one example of it.
so yeah, in scenarios where reporting something doesn't necessarily offer the possibility of it getting fixed, then maybe non-disclosure is your best option.
Well, why not for it to be like the antivirus vendors and
Because it's not fixable. So this is, in this case, winning a race condition in the way that Windows loads DLLs to beat the EDR to it with a 100% success rate and then kick them out of the process. You have to rewrite all of Windows to fix that. Does that make sense? That's kind of out of scope of getting fixed.
well, like that would still be an issue you can report to Microsoft.
It wouldn't inherently be unethical to report it.
Like
Sure, but now with drawing attention to it, folks in the long time to take to fix that, now we have this window where folks are creating this malware and just spreading it, and you've created this problem that otherwise may not have been discovered.
Well, that's
So
not
you're
an
not
issue if you
disclosing
don't do full disclosure. That's an issue if you just do limited, if you do a disclosure to, as at the bottom says, limited disclosure to Microsoft. So we're talking about ethics, here, right? So, sort of think about it like that, but.
No, I just want to get people thinking.
Nice.
We're thinking.
Oh.
Thinking. I'm glad.
All right.
Yeah.
Objective met. Okay. So that's non-disclosure. Second is full disclosure. So this is, I guess, on the complete opposite. So you found an exploit. What do? You go on Twitter, you go to every single news outlet, you email them, you say, hey, I found this big issue, this huge vulnerability. I'm going to explain exactly how to do it. And you guys go ham. So we can already tell the problems with this. There will always be malicious actors on the internet. There always will be people that use the exploits found to do bad things. So how do you, I guess, in this already worst case scenario, how do you disclose the information in a way that, I guess, is ethical, if that makes sense? Anyone have any So if you're gonna disclose something fully, if you're gonna offer full disclosure, how do you do so in an ethical manner? It's kind of there, but does anyone want to talk about it? Yeah.
You don't like go through the process of how to get to that point, but just say that there's a vulnerability. Period.
So just saying, hey, there's this problem. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it, but there is this problem.
There's this
I
problem.
wouldn't
Don't
really
use this
know
thing.
like why you would do full disclosure. I feel like limited disclosure is like, if you want to do the right thing, that's probably the best way to go.
Well, we will discuss, like, there are some specific scenarios in which full disclosure is actually surprisingly the best option, but yeah, definitely, like, could say, yeah.
What if like the company that you're reporting to for limited disclosure is just kind of ignoring you?
Yeah.
And just.
That's what I was
not
bringing
really
up.
Answering your question.
Oh, that's.
What would you do then?
90 days.
Yeah, okay.
It would be really funny, like, oh, you ignored me, now I'm gonna leak it all.
Yeah, I know, it's super funny. That's what happens.
What if the company was Nestle?
What? Is there like more I'm missing?
Are you saying what if the company is a company that you have ethical concerns with?
Something around that, yeah.
Hmm.
You just wanna like take revenge on it.
So an eye for an
I
eye.
think
That's.
I argue this falls within the realm of gray hat or hacktivism, perhaps.
Good.
I was gonna say if they're ignoring you, I mean, like, you could go the route of like, you like releasing a proof of concept on the internet, now everybody knows about it, but I feel like you shouldn't go from like, nobody knows about it to like now.
Everyone knows. Yeah.
I feel like you should, if they're not responding, then you could probably like say, like go and like start disclosing that there is a vulnerability, but not how to do it.
Yeah.
And then threat.
Hey, if you don't respond, you don't leak it.
So step by step. So
But you could go and do that first step of saying like, like telling news outlets or maybe.
hey, there is this problem. I'm not gonna tell you guys how to do it, but I have found this.
And then
Yeah.
that can pressure the company into actually responding.
So warning shots. Okay.
Without like making without allowing literally everybody to exploit it.
Yeah. Another way you could do it is like you could, as the person who discovered the vulnerability, you could like write a patch for people to be able to use and release that at the same time with the like steps you use to like, I guess,
If it's patchable by an
yeah, if it's patchable by nature, it's all assuming that like, hey, this is a problem I can solve and I know how to solve, yeah.
Are you still talking about full disclosure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Okay, I have an idea. What if you sold it?
That
That's
kind of
not-
that is a career field.
It
though.
is.
So utility.
Like morally.
Yeah, there are places that sell it for a lot of money.
That's
Take the money.
They're proxies,
And then
basically. Those are proxies for like typically
Right.
foreign adversaries that are like, oh.
I presume you do not want to make an enemy of the person you sold it to if they have the money to buy it.
Okay, I was thinking they wouldn't call like law enforcement on you because they're the ones buying it.
They are
No.
law enforcement.
Well, they might.
Well,
not be-
they-
a lot of those foreign countries do
Yeah.
it by proxy, so you
Yeah.
might be out of like jurisdiction or whatever, but do you really want North Korea? Like,
Yeah.
probably not. Do you want Iran going around attacking banks with the 0 day?
Yeah.
Probably.
This
If you're
goes
not
in-
utilitarian, then you could like have a preconscious and sell it for like $2 million.
A small sum of $2 million.
And
You know, economics.
Contributing to the economy.
Oh.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, are you familiar with WannaCry?
What?
Are you familiar with WannaCry?
No.
Go Google it.
Oh, yeah.
Back to me about 5 minutes.
So like ransom, yeah.
How do you spell it?
WannaCry.
Sell it.
It is
Yeah,
when,
a-
yeah, so
yeah.
basically, an NSA set of 0 days got fully disclosed. And then, I believe it's North Korea?
A lot of
It's
people.
weird, like, a good chunk of the entire internet with that. So anyway, if you're talking about like practical examples of full disclosure gone wrong, like,
Yeah.
that is the example.
Well, this is already kind of on the opposite end. This is already on the black hat hacker side of disclosure.
Okay,
Well,
so what
yeah.
about limited?
Back on topic. So finally we have limited disclosure. So this especially applies if you as someone with a conscience, wants to get, I guess, get a bit of personal gain from the work. So you could reach out, you could like privately disclose to the party you actually you exploited and tell them and only them how to fix it. Now there are still some risks. So assuming you didn't actually get legally hired by the company, you didn't get given explicit permission by the person you're hacking to hack into their system, they can still sue you for it, especially if they're a bad company with no ethics.
This is what I was kind of trying to get at when I asked if there was a situation where non-disclosure was the best option.
Yeah. Well, but there's also like if you're talking about like the big companies, like if you're talking about good companies, a lot of companies nowadays are offering bug bounties. So if you can find a way to somehow break into their system or find a bug, find an exploit, find a vulnerability, they will pay you for it. So they openly present that option to you, yeah.
It's like a minor thing, but a thing that does happen is bug bounties. It's first come first served basis, and there are companies who will say, "Oh, thanks for reporting it. We have someone else that already found that," and basically lie to you and just steal that. And like that is a known thing that has happened to a lot of folks. Thankfully, if it happens enough, like people like don't report to this company, like
Yeah.
So non-disclosure, yeah.
That's just something I want folks to be like aware of. That
Yeah.
has happened.
Yeah, it can be a little bit Wild West in the bug bounty city, but
It is an option. And like it's yep.
They have to pay you more than like 0 days, right? Like for people who like.
They're always gonna pay you less.
Yeah.
Because in order to get people to sell to the 0-day market, they need to offer you a better margin. They're always-
because it's
Yes.
the less ethical option.
Yeah.
Good,
Money
yeah.
or ethics. But yeah, okay. So how do you like disclose? Yeah, I think we talked about this already. So how do you disclose a bug you found responsibly as someone who wasn't explicitly given permission to break into a system? So you could do the limited disclosure option where you can disclose it privately to the company and do this only if they're not a shitty company. Yeah, so we could have cases where you disclose to the company and they're like, hey, someone else already did that. We're not gonna pay you. They could do that.
Or they're
Or-
like, here's a cease and desist.
Yeah, or they could sue you because you did break into their system without their permission. So especially for like really urgent issues, it's issues you want them to, I guess, be fixed urgently. This is all assuming you are wanting the best for society. It is assuming you want to be responsible in disclosing a vulnerability you found. You could set them a deadline for how long they have to fix the vulnerability you found before you're allowed to fully disclose it or full disclosure it. So, for example, like Google's deadline is 90 days. So you're saying, hey, I found this exploit. If you don't fix it within 90 days, I'm allowed to let it loose on the internet. And so after you've told the company, after you want like responsibility to disclose this, you told the company, hey, I found this, and they say, hey, thanks for that. We're gonna pay you, and hopefully we're gonna fix it. Maintain communication with both parties while they're developing a patch for it. This is why documentation is especially important, because you want to be able to tell the company exactly what steps you took to exploit their system, and you want to be able to use those steps to like help them in developing a better patch. And finally, after it's patched, you could still like get your free internet cloud points and say, hey, I found this. It's patched now, but I did find this. This is my credit. So after the patch is fully added, you can fully disclose it after the deadline or after it's fixed. Hopefully after it's fixed. Yeah, I think we're already a bit behind.
You're fine.
Now, okay, other ethical issues as well. So how do we? So it's like, how do we? So like, I guess breaking into systems isn't the only ethical problem that cybersecurity experts face. So in incident response, so it's like, how should we share information about a vulnerability, especially internally within a company? It's like, hey, we got reported that this is a vulnerability. Who should we share this to? How should we share it? Should we break out or should we kick the intruders out first before we, I guess, like, do we maintain uptime of our system, or do we maintain security of our system while we work for a patch? There's also attribution. So can we really be sure that it was this or that person that broke into our system? Can we really be sure that this person is responsible, especially if you know you got illegally hacked into, especially if you know you got illegally attacked? Can we be sure that the person we're suspecting is the actual person who broke into our systems? And finally, hackback. So it's like an eye for an eye. If we know that this specific organization or specific group of hackers broke into our systems, is it ethical for us to hack them back? Is it ethical for the time old saying, an eye for an eye? So, and later on with the CFAA, we will talk about that a bit more, and especially with falsification. If we are planning a hack back, how do we make sure that it was actually the person that we think? How do we make sure that the person we think hacked us was the person that actually hacked us? And how do we know we're not just hacking someone innocent? So these are all ethical issues that cybersecurity experts need to concern themselves with. The law. Wow.
Alright,
We're gonna talk about the law. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna start with a little bit of criminology. So what even makes a crime? The things that make a crime are the state of mind or the intent, which in legal speak is usually called mens rea. That's basically like guilty conscience, or like, it's like things that a person would do if they were planning or committing a crime that a normal person wouldn't do. Like Googling how to hide the body. Like, normal people don't look that up. That's like an extreme example that is not related to cybersecurity, but like, even like I don't know, like how do I spoof my IP? You might be doing that for ethical reasons, but it's like you're doing that with the intent to hide your identity, and then it's like, okay, so what's happening? So there, in terms of formal definitions of intent, we have, you did something purposefully, you hoped for the outcome to happen, you tried to make it happen, and then you have knowingly. You might have done it knowing that the outcome was, like, not necessarily like with the express intent, like with certainty that it would happen, but you knew there's a pretty good probability it would happen, and you were cool with that. Recklessly is, you might have not wanted it to happen, but you knew the risks and you ignored those risks of it happening. And then negligence is like, you might have not known the risks, but you should have known the risks. Cool. So this is a big boy. If you get nothing out of this meeting, Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, you should know this one. You should at least be somewhat familiar with this law if you're going to go into ethical hacking. It was enacted in 1986 because some legislators watched war games and they got scared. I'm not even kidding. And that kind of tells you the mindset that and like the background that the people creating this law had going into it, which is to say, not a ton of technical background, not necessarily a lot of strong technical wording to make it clear what does and does not count as a cybercrime. And so the general definition is that it's going to protect computers used either by a financial institution, by the government, or used for interstate commerce or communication. Okay, so the first two I'd say are pretty clear. Financial institution is like things that are used at a bank. You understand why people would get in trouble for hacking into a bank. The government, sure, hacking into the government is a pretty big, like, you can extrapolate why that would be illegal. Interstate commerce or communication, in practice, raise your hand if you've ever bought anything off Amazon. Raise your hand if you've ever talked to someone online that might not be from the US. Okay, all of your computers are protected under the CFA. Awesome. You did it!
Yeah.
So that is referred to, all of those computers are referred to as protected computers under the CFAA. You're going to see that term a lot under the CFAA. On the future slides, I kind of omit it, but just know that when we're talking about the CFAA, we're talking about this definition of quote unquote protected computers, which is kind of just all computers. you can pretty safely assume that your computer falls under the CFAA. Okay, so there's like 7 sections of the CFAA, kind of a mouthful. First one is obtaining classified information to injure US or a foreign power. It's pretty straightforward. Basically, it's just like, don't get don't extort classified data. A lot of this ends up being like government based. Like the first one's government based, the third one's government based. I'm gonna skip 1 and 3. Number 2, accessing a computer without authorization or exceeding authorized access and obtaining information. That one is pretty broad. That includes, like, you'll notice exceeding authorized access. You can have access to a computer and that basically covers like privilege escalation. And so if you access something that you're not supposed to have more access to, that would fall under that. And then number 4 is just combining federal crimes with unauthorized access. That's going to make your deal worse. Unauthorized access with damages is going to make your deal worse. What counts as a damage? Obviously financial damage, like maybe if you messed with someone's files, that's damage. Password trafficking is just like those, like, don't sell people's passwords. And then number 7 just covers like extortion with all those like ransomware kind of stuff. What's up?
Yeah, I have a question on 6, which is usage of public data breaches. In the sense that like everyone uses like Rocky.txt, right?
Yeah,
That's pretty standard. Where is there any kind of limitation on that, or is it just like it's on the internet, you're good to go?
I'm not confident. I am not sure what the legal ramifications of Rocky.txt are. That's actually a very good question. If you find out,
Well, we have a question like everyone uses Rocky.txt, but I
Yeah.
also think if I were to just hop on Tor and get that NPD data breach, that'd be a little bit sketch. And
Yeah.
those are actually the same thing, which is why I was just confused about it.
fair. No, I think that's a totally fair. I think that's a fair question. I wonder if at this point Rocky counts as public information.
I think they all count as information, even though you probably should.
No, that's fair.
That's them, but I don't know.
Yes,
Versus the.
Oh, God. That's.
this is not a nuance of this law that I am familiar with,
Okay.
unfortunately. And if you figure it out, let me know, paste it in SIGPwny chat somewhere, because I am actually legitimately curious. Notable exceptions. Data and transit laws. Man-in-the-middle attacks might not be CFAA. It's technically passive. Obviously, if you found a password in the man-in-the-middle attack and then performed unauthorized access, that'd be a clear crossing of a line. But then it's like, does this count under CFAA? Not quite. And then don't mess with the USPS. There's 2 government agencies that you'd be. There's one that's obvious, don't mess with the IRS. The second one's less obvious, do not mess with the USPS. Those guys have they have their own stuff going on. So, what are some problems with the CFAA? Actually, I'm just curious, like, obviously I put it on the screen already, but does anyone have any, like, questions, comments about the CFAA when they read through it? It's okay if you don't. I know it's kind of like a wall text. I can go back to it if it helps. Anything interesting about it? Especially in terms of like modern computer. What's up?
Well, it's just the combination of facts. It's written like, what, 30, 40 years ago by people who didn't have a technical understanding of computers even back then to write a law that somehow governs how we use computers right now. And it just feels weird.
Yeah, there have been some amendments, but
Mostly.
probably not enough. Okay, then I will continue on with problems with the law. Yeah, it's outdated. it doesn't really cover ethical hacking. Like, okay, so yes, a company gives you authorization when they give you like written legal permission to hack in their system. So that's authorized access, cool. But like, it doesn't go into a ton of detail, and there aren't a ton of cases where they've actually made proper decisions on what that detail would look like. And also like, what's reasonable access? Well, if like my mom's bank account's up and I like go and like I go to her computer and I check and make sure that everything's okay, and then like she told me offhandedly I could have $15, so I wired it to myself. Is that hacking? I don't know. I think that on a case, a lot of things with the CFA are kind of covered on a case-by-case basis. And because there's kind of like a hacker paranoia situation, they tend to not go in the favor of the hacker, which is, it'd be cooler to have more clear rules there. Does anyone have, what's up?
Oh, I just like a comment related to this again. I might be, if someone has a more robust way of fact checking this, by all means, like, go ahead.
Go for it.
I think there's been right under 100 hacking arrests ever in the US, at least according to Wikipedia, which should be, I think, a strikingly low number. And that's just what I would say is like,
That is crazy.
even though it's like, you know, tangential, like the enforcement is just not there.
Mhm.
There's not like internet police coming down to monitor this, right?
No, yeah.
Is this just like federal numbers still, or?
I have to go find it, or find it, I think it was like in the high 90s. If there's like a more robust way of looking at it, people know how to look at court records, like, please, you know, go ahead and do that to be a better statistic. But I was just gonna say, the amount of times folks have actually gotten caught for this, it's been things that would, I would say, not tie into CFA necessarily. Like, all of these they were traced, not like a DFIR thing, but like the very many real damages they caused.
Yeah.
To businesses, financial institutions, and other things.
So it's not necessarily about the cyber aspect, it's about like the theft aspect.
Yeah, they
probably,
added
et
the
cetera.
cyber aspect to it, but all these were so far reaching and blatant, they would have been found, I think, regardless for real damages they caused.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a good point too, is that if it is more clear what defines this stuff, it's way easier to like arrest and indict people that actually are causing problems, who is ideally the people that we're ethical hacking to prevent from doing things. So yeah, that's a good point. Any other thoughts? It's cool if there's not. What's up?
Also, I don't, that judiciary doesn't seem like a great entity to like resolve claims. It's like the average age of a federal judge is 70, and their heads are like so far in the books, they don't know what's going on. Like,
No,
they
yeah.
don't know how to use Zoom.
I almost included this in the slides, but there's a very telling quote from like a year or two ago that's like, we're not the 9 smartest technologists in the room when discussing like a case like this, which is very funny. And also like, oh God, we should have more tech policy folks in higher up places to make sure that these things get properly defined, because this is not something that can really be defined by precedent by, yeah, like 60-year-olds. They just like, no hate to 60-year-olds, they just don't really understand this necessarily. I'm sure there's some cool hacker 60-year-old
Yeah,
on
like,
the
the guy that wrote Task Manager, he's still been pretty awesome.
No,
It's
yeah.
like a notable exception.
I think we're slowly getting to a point, but the problem is by the time we get to that point, there's gonna be a new generation of like we're gonna have to be figuring out other crazy stuff that's going on.
Like, feel young enough to be like, I guess, on the front, on the like cutting edge of new technologies,
Yeah.
are not experienced enough to write the laws and make like lawful judgments, and people old enough to make those judgments have like the experience a different age of technology than the one
Yeah.
we're currently in.
That's a good way to put it, is that,
There's always a disconnect.
yeah, for our online folks. what Eddie said was basic, if I'm paraphrasing right, is that the people that currently have the power to control the laws don't necessarily have a good basis for technology, and the people that are young enough to really understand technology don't necessarily have the power or understanding to make significant changes in the laws. Would you say that's a decent
Yeah.
paraphrase of what you said? Okay. Yeah, I think that's a fair. Yeah, it's a weird like situation there where it's like I don't have a good way to resolve that. But that also means you have to be pretty careful when you're set clear contracts, when you're ethical hacking. Be extremely clear that the person that you're contracting with owns the device and that they understand exactly what you're doing, document it clearly so they know you did what you said you'd do, and whatnot. Okay. I'll wrap this up then. Next meetings. We don't have a meeting on Sunday, if I recall, we don't, right? Cool. Take care of yourselves, study for finals, get ready to go on break and whatnot. Go like finish your assignments, finish your MP. Start early. Start early because you don't have a SIGPwny meeting to go to. And then next Thursday, we're talking digital forensics with Nick and Henry. Huge. Okay. And if you didn't get the flag, make sure if you are, it could be anyone's first week. So if you are not familiar with our CTF, ctf.sigpwny.com, we post challenges there as well as essentially you get points for attendance for meetings. And this is our flag, our little string that you will submit.
What's
There.
there? Is it under, I don't see any like ethical.
Oh.
ethics.
I think it's under ethics and law.
Oh, no.
Is it published?
I'm like, never mind.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Okay, we found it?
Yeah.
Awesome, okay. Yes. Flags, I'm not a lawyer. To remember, I'm not.
You know, like this, we should just have a challenge. It's like writing 1,000 word essay on whatever topic that interests you the most of this aspect, and we'll give you like 300 points.
We'll give you 211 credit for that.
You the number of points equal to your like equal to.
You get 170, you get 170 points.
Yeah. We give you 100 times the like GPA credit worth on your grade.
I'll factor the midterm.
How about the opportunity skill set?
Oh.
Okay.
Highest score?
Yeah.
10,000.
We do a group LSAT session.
Oh, gosh. Public group LSAT. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a reason to keep this up for that long. I feel like a lot of the convo part happens